Hey, yo. Pull up this chair. Hey, yo, what's up? How y'all doing? Get a little basketball in, a little air ball action. Actually, no, we weren't too bad. I don't know what my field goal percentage was on actual shots, but I think I shot probably like 33s, not in the game, just overall. I probably made like 10 of them. 33% from three, not the greatest. But not bad. But not bad at all. What's going on? How y'all doing? Interesting slate because, yeah, we're kind of on the holding on for news front right now, right? We're on the holding on for news front for this slate, a 7-game slate yesterday, an 8-game slate today. We're kind of waiting. We're in a holding period on Zion, on Brandon Ingram, on Brogdon, on Sabonis, on Murray, on Drummond, on Bev, right? Pat Bev. So lots of things today. Lots of things as, out in the sun all day, getting a workout in, getting a run in, get some basketball in. I'm tired. Boy's tired right now. What's going on, Dale? What's poppin', Tori? Brand new whip just hopped in. Actually just picked up a new whip today. New car today. First time in 6 years. Let's go. What's going on, Brady? How you doing? Andre says, "Yer, Andre, what's up, boss man? Feed us some schmacks. Sal says, "Break them." Oh, you gonna get some schmacks? Oh, you gonna get this hand right here? You hear that? Perfectly pops. Malachi Flynn season. Yeah, we'll pull up Toronto's minutes. There's no Fred VanVleet. Yeah, right. No Kyle Lowry still. So Toronto is where the value is coming from this slate right now. You can see Toronto's minutes are on the screen. The only ones that are not showing do not fit on the screen. And that will be Bembry, and I could actually make them fit on the screen, though. Let's add another couple of rows. There you go. There's Toronto's minutes. The only one not fitting on the screen is Siakam up top. And we can take out Fred VanVleet to make it all fit. Bang. How about that? Toronto's full team minutes. Let's cash tonight. Let's do it. Dunk, what's up? Nelson Cruz is a champ. What is Nelson Cruz doing? I assume he's hitting some home runs for you. He's hitting some home runs for you in the baseball streets. That's my guess. I'm here for the Schmackins, M. Cortez. What's going on? Sal Bag of Donuts. This is with them prize picks. Yeah, we'll get into prize picks. I've got prize picks listed. They're sponsoring the live stream. We'll get into them in a little while. I charted 8 prize picks that stood out to me. Some more than others. The Vooch one from this morning still looks good. The Ben Simmons one has already corrected itself, so it is no longer as good. It has already corrected itself from this morning's video. Are you not worried about Boucher? He only played 20 minutes last night. Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'm giving him 24 minutes. I mean, the guy's minutes are just going to be sporadic to an extent. Like, you know what you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting 20 to 26 minutes, so we got the lower end of that last night. So I'm not going to just start projecting him for the lower end of that. We can go look into the game flows on Mr. Chris Boucher right now. See if there was anything abnormal. I looked into this morning when projecting minutes. So, yeah, Chris Boucher had no personal fouls yesterday. He just doesn't close the game. So, why is that? Because, here you go. So, they go on a 19-2 run. Big reason why he's probably not closing the game out. So, Chris Boucher plays 20 minutes in 3 quarters, doesn't close the game out. Toronto goes on a 19-2 run over the course of, which was a 19-2 run over about a 5-minute span to start the 4th quarter. Chris Boucher does not check back in because they're on a 19-2 run, right? And mounting a pretty massive comeback in which they ended up holding on for a 2-score lead. And then Boucher does not check in for the final 6 minutes of the game. Makes sense. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that. Normally, Chris Boucher is going to play 1 minute of the final. He didn't play the final 16 minutes of the game. 16 minutes and 9 seconds. So this is Boucher's run right here, where all this black is, because that means he's not on the court. So normally he's going to play more than that, right? He's going to have more than his 8 second-half minutes that he had yesterday. So that's a little bit of an outlier. A good amount of an outlier, right? A 19-2 run to start the quarter. No concern about his minutes there. It's just going to happen. Are you on Siakam today? Oh, yeah. All the way on Siakam. I mean, Siakam looks fantastic. Siakam looks fantastic yet again today. Siakam is currently my 5th highest projected player. Siakam currently ranks overall in terms of rated plays today as my number 3 overall play, but my second, probably my favorite play overall, though. If we, like, Bembry will grade out nice, Kevon Looney will grade out nice just because they're like $3,000 and $3,100 respectively. But I think Siakam's currently my favorite play. Just on a pure point per dollar standpoint. With these guys off the court, Siakam should be around $9,200 today in my projections, and he's clearly not that. Hey, Sal, any locks tonight? What's going on, Rick Radar? How you doing? Rick Radar, I think you just, you ended up tweeting me this morning, I believe, right? You ended up in a nice little bing. Got onto the Hall of Fame package. We love to hear it. Let's start making some lineups. I don't have any. I still got this deep dish pizza on here from yesterday. I don't got any new pictures. I forgot to add one onto here. So hopefully that's okay. Let's see if I got anything just in the browsers. Let's see if I got anything just chilling out, relaxing. Who's this? Rory McIlroy. That's probably not going to be a good idea. What other headshots do we have? Oh, we got some players from the slate tonight. We got Jackson Hayes. He can fill the need for now. I want to be putting the national calendar days in there, but today's were pretty bad. Like employee benefits day. Shout out my HR days, but not really something I'm trying to put on here. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty, cool. So yeah, that filled. So we can start to build some lineups today. Sal won $6. Appreciate the information, says Mitch. Mitch, my man, I assume that $6, if you want it, was profit. Profit is profit, my man. We love to hear it. We love to hear it. So let's build out 150 lineups right now with the most updated projections. Let's put 27% randomness. Put 3 from a team. Let's put 3 uniques on this slate. Let's let those build in the background. Seth Curry for a cheap option, not for me. Out of all those Philadelphia cheap options, right, assuming Embiid is playing, which it seems like it, the guy that I would go to is Milton if I had to choose one. Levine looks good at 78. Jaylen Brown looks good for 76. Which one do you like better, or play both? I'm definitely not playing both or going out of my way to play both. Which one do I like better, though? Between Levine and Jaylen Brown? Yeah, so no Fournier. I guess it somewhat helps Jaylen Brown. It's really not doing much for me, though. So right now, neither of them are priorities. I actually like Levine. Out of both of those guys, so I have Jaylen Brown as my 31st overall play today. I have Levine as my 26th. So I'll take Levine, and I actually like Levine over on Prize Picks. I went out of my way to mention Levine. I have Levine for close to 40 fantasy points today. On Prize Picks today, I believe Levine is only at like 34. So yeah, Levine's right here at 34. I like the over on Levine. We can talk about Prize Picks in full, though, in a little while. But Levine on the over looks good. We already liked the Vooch from this morning. Levine on the over there, but I'll take Levine over Jaylen Brown. Some other teams to pull minutes up for would be Boston with no Evan Fournier today. More run for Marcus Smart, and you'll probably see Aaron Naismith, the rookie, get into the rotation. Not worried about... All right. Bembry is starting. Sounds good. Yeah, I already got him projected. What's popping? Yo, Dale, what's going on? Yo, Gumba. What's the best daily $12 contest to enter every day that you have a shot at taking down? Thanks, bro. $12 single entries? I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on the day. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some small field ones. Just check the payout structure. A lot of $12 single entries usually have a lot of rake. The $12 to $27 are usually some pretty bad contests. Not always, but usually pretty bad contests. They just have a lot of rake on them, you know? Like this site might take 23% in those, which is pretty brutal. Or the payout structures might be terrible. Simon, man, you got 3 locks for SD tonight, SuperDraft tonight. Locks? No locks. My 3 highest projected players are Curry, Embiid, and Siakam, but no locks over there. You have OG Anunoby with a 1.65x multiplier, Drummond with a 1.65x multiplier. Like, those are really good. So I always feel great when I catch you live. How's your day? Keep up the great content. My day's going good. I'm pretty tired right now. A lot of outside in the heat, allergy season, working out, that type of stuff. But day's going good. Hopefully you're having a good day. What's poppin', my guy? What's going on, Jay Trez? How you doing, boss man? Do you recommend one, or do I need to get that info from the Discord, says William? The $12 contest. I don't have one that I personally recommend, to be honest with you. There's not like one. I assume that there's like 3 $12 GPPs, and they're all different prize pools. So a single entry one would be the recommendation. Hey, so I've been playing tiers recently. I've had a good amount of success with your projections. Having trouble picking between Vooch or Butler. Both project basically the same. I will be going with Vooch there. How do you feel about Flynn and Bembry on SuperDraft today? I'm not going to get there. Like, they don't project. They project out. They're good plays. Like, they're not interest at all for me on SuperDraft. They're good plays on DraftKings because they're cheap. But SuperDraft, they're not going to get a lot of points. Like, they're not going to project out as high producers today. We can pull up Philadelphia's minutes on the screen. Just now with Embiid back. Some things changing there. Philly's minutes. Indy's going to be an interesting team today, depending on what happens with that news. Sal, you full-blown Italian? Yes. Siakam or Capella tonight? Give me Siakam. Yes, sir. Big night last night. Almost $1,200. Nice. $1,190. Let's go. Uno pizza. Sounds terrible. Anyone else have Harden last night? Some, but thankfully on the stream, we were talking about towards the end of the stream yesterday how Luka was a better player than Harden because of the positionality, which got me off of a good amount of Harden. What time do you normally lock your lineups before tip-offs? I BS around last time with the crunch. Upload my 150s at 5:58 and didn't get them in. Yeah, I mean, last second. I mean, I upload my lineups right now, but those are placeholders, and then based on news, I change them. So, yeah, 5:58, I might have to. But my process now, I can crunch and change all my lineups, like re-crunch if I have to, and upload them all in, like, probably a minute to a minute and a half is all I need. Are you still high on Jackson Hayes today? Yeah, assuming he starts again, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. Assuming that Jackson Hayes can start today, which would assume that you're not going to be having Zion out there, who I am not projecting in right now, and Ingram. So, assuming that happens. Well, actually, I'm projecting in Zion and I'm projecting in Ingram. So, assuming that you can get Mr. Jackson Hayes, let me pull him up. Just see where I'm at with minutes on Hayes. Assuming that you get Jackson Hayes starting again, I have him for 24 minutes. So, you're probably going to have to see Zion and Ingram not play. Thank you, sir. No problem. Favorite 2 plays under $5,000. So under $5,000, there's a lot. Like Hayes is there. Flynn and Bembry, whichever one starts out of those. Caruso's there, but he's not great. Markieff Morris right at 5,000 would probably be my favorite play. There's not much under 5K unless you're punting with some of these 3K options like Flynn or Bembry. So whichever one of those guys from Toronto starts. Other than that, Jackson, Hayes, but you have to see what happens with Zion. Say, what's up, dude? Queen's in the building. What's going on, boss man? How you doing? Cantor tournament today? Yeah, looks good. Sound price picks. Who we taking on there? Yeah, I'll get the price picks soon because I know a lot of people are going to ask, so I'll just wait until more people are in here. About midway through the stream, which is in another 15 minutes. Capella or Embiid today for you? I'll take Embiid. Do you like Cantor? Yes. Which of Vooch's ownership thoughts on him? I don't think Vooch will be picking up like massive ownership. Like the price point is low, so it'll give some there, but there's a lot of centers on the slate, right? Like you're going to have a lot of center eligible guys like Siakam and Giannis on the slate, right? You have a lot of other center options on the slate, whether it is Robert Williams or Cantor today. So my guess would be that Vooch is like 15% owned, which is pretty average ownership for an 8-game slate. We can pull up Chicago's minutes. You can see where I'm at with Vooch and those guys. Projecting in Zach LaVine right now. Porter Jr. or Kuzma? I'll take Kuzma. Thoughts on Rondo with Beverly questionable today? Yeah, I'm not really interested in Rondo. I have Beverly currently projected in. Diallo or Will Barton for you today? Give me Diallo. What are the best low-owned options? It's way too soon to tell, to be honest with you. But like Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler, Morant, like all those guys will be low-owned today. I think Cantor's a pretty strong low-owned option now that Nurkic is going to be out today. So I think Cantor, Capella, like center pivot type options. But it's way too soon to tell because a lot of guys are low-owned just because they have questionable tags by them, like a Sabonis, like a Brogdon. Guys are low-owned that will obviously not be low-owned like a LeVert later today. But those guys are naturally at the right price points. Like centers like Zubac and Cantor, I think, are low-owned. But there's obviously other centers to get to today, right? We had a lot of centers, 5 out of 10 in the top 10 play video this morning. But I would say that centers are pretty low-owned naturally today just because there's so many good ones. So you can't get to all of them. Other than that, like naturally, like LaVine and Butler are going to be low-owned, but I think they're appropriately priced. So mainly those cheaper, mid-price to cheaper centers is probably where I'll go in terms of low ownership right now, but it's way too soon to tell. Like the whole slate is definitely going to be changing one way or another, whether there's news on these guys in a positive way or they're going to be ruled out because there's so much news. And we are only 2 hours from lock, so we're going to start to get it within this next hour. We got a massive amount of news yesterday on the stream. We're getting a bunch of news for tomorrow, Wednesday slate, but so far nothing for today's slate. Lillard and McCollum. I'll take McCollum fat and pick one. Do you like Cantor? Yes. Thoughts on LaVine today? I like him the most on Prize Picks. LaVine is not my favorite play on Prize Picks. He's close to being one of my favorite plays on Prize Picks just because of the steals upside. But yeah, LaVine I really like on Prize Picks. I have LaVine today for over. I'm at 39.9 points. He's at 34. That's a DraftKings points, but it converts almost similarly. He is a 5.9 point difference, which is pretty massive for Prize Picks. I think that's my widest difference right now. Embiid's a 4.5 point difference. I like Embiid's over. Then there's Marcus Smart, Markieff and Marcus Smart, or Markieff and Marcus Morris, both the Morris brothers. They look like pretty low numbers today, assuming that Markieff still gets a similar run. Yeah, that's probably the best spot to get LaVine. Any rules you suggest for tonight? Yeah, every single slate you have to be setting rules. I mean, it's too soon. I'm not going to go through and set rules. You can just set like your basic rules if you want to start to set just basic stuff. Here's the optimizer. Let's pull this up. So, I mean, if you just want to start setting some like basic rules, like with centers and maybe like guards and things like that, like on an 8-game slate, maybe you want to set a Bembry and Malachi Flynn rule. I don't think that I want to right now, but maybe you want to go with something along the lines of Gary Trent, OG, Flynn, and Bembry. Maybe you only want to get 3. Maybe you only want to get 2 of these guys, right, in a lineup together, whatever your options are personally. So you can set a rule to get at most 2 of these guys in a lineup. I think you could do at most 3. So you can set those types of rules. Those make sense. But every single night you need rules. So it's not like, do you think you should set rules tonight? No, you should. But it's too soon to tell, right? Like you can set your basic center rules tonight for certain teams, like to not play Jackson Hayes, who's been getting power forward run. But still, I wouldn't play Jackson Hayes with Steven Adams together. So you can set that rule, which is a really good tool, part of the Big Energy Optimizer. Recommend you checking it out. Linked down below. But we can check out some of these lineups. But yeah, you can like start to set some of those rules. Like if you wanted to put a Hayes with an Adams, and at most have one of those in your lineup. You can do Vooch and a LaVine if you really only wanted to have at most one of those guys in your lineup. So LaVine and Vooch, I don't think you have to do this, but if you think they take away from each other too much and they're not both at cheap enough price points to play both, you can say I want at most one of them. And you can start to set some rules out of there that you think make sense. But centers and definitely value plays from a team. So like today for Boston, I'm definitely setting some sort of a rule for like Jaylen Brown. We can zoom in on this, like Jaylen Brown, Tatum. Honestly, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, and let's just say Kemba, like at most 2 of these guys, right? Honestly, I'm fine if you just say at most 1 of them on an 8-game slate, but just those types of rules where you can start to go. So this is if we put some randomness on, you start to get some lineups. Like this one has Bembry plus Flynn, and it gets Siakam in there, so that's okay. So we haven't crunched the lineups yet with the new rules that we just added, but I like this lineup right here because this lineup's gonna have a lower owned Zubac, not a highly owned Dennis Schroeder. Jackson Hayes is going to be somebody who's definitely going to change depending on what happens with the news in New Orleans, though. Which Morris twin do you prefer tonight? I like them both on Prize Picks, but I like Markieff overall more. Is James Johnson still good at 5.2K if Ingram and Zion are going to be out? Yeah, he'll still be fine. He'll still project for close to 30 fantasy points for me. I got my gym calling me back. The worst timing. Dang. Told him to call me back anytime today. I'll be out of meetings. AK meetings. Just playing basketball. Playing basketball at 1. You like Grant and Plumlee revenge games? No. Jokic or Giannis today? Give me Giannis. Sal, my man, how are we feeling about Prize Picks today? Yeah, I like Levine. I like Vooch on the over. There's some other guys that I like over there as well. I'll get to them soon. Giannis or Embiid? Thanks, Sal. Give me Giannis if I had to pick one. Levine is now 37 on Prize Picks. Ooh, that's brutal. So people missed out. Hopefully got the over 34 on Levine on Prize Picks. The over 37, I still lean the over, but nowhere near as much. So, and Vooch is now up to 42. Hopefully you're getting in on these early. Hopefully you're getting in on these earlier in the day. I mean, Levine was at 34 literally, I don't know, 5-10 minutes ago. I got him before the stream started. Got Levine, got Vooch. Yeah. Some very nice options. That's about it from those guys, though. Levine, I still lean the over, but he's nowhere near now the best option like he was. Massively underpriced. He still is underpriced on Prize Picks, but massively underpriced earlier. So hopefully you were able to get in on that. Prize Picks is the sponsor of the program today. You could use the code SAL, S-A-L. There's a link in the description below. You can check it out. Check it out. Any money you put in, you use the code SAL, link in the description. Any money you put in, they'll match you up to $100 Rooskies. Yeah, so another one that I do like, and I like probably the second or third most. Oh, it already went up. Shit. So Markieff Morris, I got at 22. I took the over on 22. 23 is still fine, but it's not the same as 22. I have him for 26 fantasy points. Let's see if some have not changed. It's like they know what I've placed. Maybe they're watching what I placed and are changing it based on that. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt I have that type of juice. Other options in this range on Prize Picks, nothing really stands out, to be honest with you, in these ones. So here we go. Marcus Morris, I actually like the over 22. I have Marcus Morris today for 26 points, so there's a 4-point difference there. So I do like both of the Morris brothers. Share the same bank account, those two. That's not a joke. That's a real thing. They say share the same bank account as brothers. Pretty interesting fact for you. Chris Boucher, I have over 27. So, yeah, there's a couple I think that are interesting. Getting voicemails now. But, yeah, it seems like they upped the one that I like the most, which was Levine, and even Vooch they upped, which is unfortunate. But there's still some nice ones out here. Lou Williams over 20. I have Lou Williams at 25 or 24, close to 25 today. So Lou Williams over on that looks nice. I'll have Embiid over 44. So I got Embiid at 44. It's now 45. I have him at 48.5, so the over still looks good there. And under, though, that I like. Oh, they already changed the under, so never mind. I'm not going to like that. They already changed it. Seen a couple of lineups that have Smart in them. Thoughts on Smart today? Yeah, he looks better now. Yeah, Smart's definitely in a player pool for me now. No Evan Fournier. Smart's just going to get big minutes. I have Marcus Smart. He is now in a player pool for me as I adjust this. I have Marcus Smart for 34 points. I'm curious what my overall player pool now is. It's going to be too big. I'm going to have to filter it down. 43 players. That's actually not big at all. So 43 players with 15 yeses on an 8-game slate seems about right. Do you prefer Vooch or Siakam today? Siakam. What are your projections on Flynn and Bembry so much lower than yesterday with the same scenario? What do you mean? I currently have Bembry for 20.2 points. I mean, it's not the same scenario. It's a different game. We have different information now with rotations. Different teams that they're facing. But I have Bembry at 20.2 points, and I have Malachi Flynn at 21.7 points. So very similar projections. I think Turner has a big game tonight. Yeah, I like Turner if Sabonis is indeed out. I have not seen any recent news on Sabonis, though. Let's see. No updated news. But Kevin Durant is expected to play tomorrow with no James Harden. Those two are never going to play together. You hate to see it. So the playoffs when they literally 4-0 everybody. So any thoughts on Wiggins and McCollum? Not in on Wiggins, but McCollum is okay. Is Caruso a decent punt? Yes, Caruso is a decent punt. I'll pull up the Lakers minutes. Caruso looks okay. That's exactly what it is. He's a punt. I have Caruso for 25 minutes, which he's slowly starting to get somewhat more secure minutes. I have Caruso not as a yes today, but he projects out close to 20 fantasy points for me at 3,700. Depending on what happens in New Orleans, depending on who starts for Atlanta, he'll be one of your better 3K punts. Hard and out 10 days. Yeah. Do you have any favorite utility plays? $4,500 and under is what I land on. As of right now, no. Like, if you have Bembry at 3K flat and you have Malachi Flynn at 3,900 from Toronto, they're saying Bembry's going to start again. We'll see. Other than that, though, Jackson Hayes will be my favorite option. If indeed you see no Zion and or Ingram tonight, ideally no Zion. Ideally, neither of them, but definitely no Zion to see Hayes start at the 4 again. But that's what you would have to see for him to be my favorite. Other than that, there's not much below 4,500 tonight. Like, you're punting with certain guys. If the Pelicans are still out, how does Ball look to you, Doctor? Doctor? Yeah, he looks good. Zion, or if Zion and Ingram are out, Lonzo looks good yet again. Just off the 50 burger, and he's going to have a lot of usage. Sadly, like Miles Turner over Cantor with Sabonis out, you the best. Sabonis is not out. If Sabonis is out, if Sabonis gets ruled out, then I will like Miles Turner over Cantor, yes. Of Turner projecting into the mid-30s. I don't think he's out. Let's see. I don't think I saw news on Sabonis out. I could have missed it, but maybe. Yeah, no news on Sabonis out. Questionable. Any interest in Steph Curry today? I actually like Steph Curry only on Prize Picks. I got a Steph Curry over 46 points. He's at 49. I have him at 49.7. I don't know if Curry is still on Prize Picks or still at that cost on Prize Picks. They got to add a search feature, yo. I hate scrolling for shit. He's at 45 now, so I got Curry. Oh, wow, yeah. So this is a better number. So I got Curry at 46 on the over-under. I got him at 49.7. Curry is probably now, with the Zach LaVine bump up, Curry is probably now the best play on Prize Picks. So use that code to sign up. Take advantage of Curry. He's probably now the best play for me on Prize Picks as it stands right now at 45. I have him at 49.7. Yeah, I think Steph Curry will pull up Golden State's minutes. He's viable in all formats today. He's viable in SuperDraft. He's viable in DraftKings. The best place for him, though, is going to be Prize Picks. Smart and Jokic or LaVine and Vooch today for you. Give me Smart and Jokic. Having a hard time figuring out man on Prize Picks going off your projections. Yeah, it's just a no bet for me, really. Man, I saw him at the over-under. I think man was 20 over-under today in the player props. I think I had him at like 13.7. We have to see what happens with Pat Beverly first. I'm assuming that do they have Pat Beverly with a prop today on Prize Picks? So they don't have Pat Beverly. I'm assuming that they're projecting Pat Beverly not to play. I'm currently projecting Beverly to play. So the reason why man is so low in my projections is I'm projecting Beverly to play, which means man doesn't have much run. If Beverly is out, then man is going to start to project out around 20 points and likely be a no bet for me. But if you want to take the risk and think that Beverly does play, which I'm currently projecting, but that's just because we don't have more news yet, he's questionable, then that's where you end up getting the under on man. It depends on what Beverly's status is. Do you like Bielitsa as a last pick? No, I don't really know how he ever comes through for you unless there's an injury or a massive blowout, which if you're just going to be betting on that, doesn't seem great. I have Bielitsa for 8 minutes today, so I don't think you want to be playing Nemanja Bielitsa. Although I like him a good amount, there's really nowhere for him to play right now. There's just nowhere on this team for him to play. They have Victor Oladipo playing minutes now. Obviously, Bam's back playing minutes into the 30s, and Butler's playing minutes into the 30s. Like, there is power forward needs on this team, but they play small pretty often. On this team. And they also have like Trevor Ariza playing down, which is them playing small. Do you like Cantor over Chris Boucher? No. What's poppin', Sal? What's going on, boss man? I'm a Jersey boy, now flow rider, living in Florida, the new New York South. Shout out to the Italian/American club. God bless you, Vetri Paisan, my friend. What's going on, William? Shout out my fellow Italiano. Thoughts on Trevor Ariza? Ariza, funny. 28 minutes, have him in a player pool at 4,100. Yeah, I mean, I prefer Jackson Hayes if news goes in Jackson Hayes' favor tonight. Ariza does rank out as a borderline top 20 play for me, though. So, yeah, I mean, he's a value play, right? Outside of the guards from Toronto, you're looking at value as maybe it's Jackson Hayes, maybe you want to pump with Caruso, and then, yeah, you start to quickly become Trevor Ariza range. So no slam dunk values right now. The only decent looking ones are whoever starts for Toronto, and that player will be highly owned, and that player is not going to be anywhere near a sure thing. Like Malachi Flynn, DeAndre Bembry are both going to be massively owned on this slate because they're so cheap, especially Bembry. Like Bembry doesn't have to do much for just to be a decent piece of your lineup because he allows you to pay up. So there's a lot of benefits there. Stars and injury replacements are more balanced lines today. As of right now, it's looking like a more balanced, but you still got to start, right? You got to start in every single one of your lineups. Like your lineup should be coming preloaded with the start today. A $10,000 plus player just naturally fits into your lineups, whether it is Giannis or Embiid. Or if you want to go back to Jokic, I like Giannis and Embiid in that order. But they just kind of come built into your lineup. So I'll pull up Milwaukee right now. I only like Giannis. These are my interests in this column right here. Yes, no's, or maybes. No's are guys that I have 5% or less of in GPPs. No cash interest. Yeses, there's no percentage. It's just I have more priority interest in them. And maybes are, and usually they are in a pool for my single entry. Sometimes maybes get in there, though, depending on what the price point works wise. And then maybes are in a player pool I have usually around 5% to 10%, right? Somewhere around there. Updated Dollaruski dozen today. Yeah, so I'm not gonna include any of the maybes like Kevon Looney or Alex Caruso, but they are in my top 12 point per dollar plays. I'm not gonna include them because they're not yeses. So top 12 plays that are yeses for me today. Bembry, Siakam in this order. Bembry, Siakam, Jackson Hayes. This is assuming that he actually plays big minutes, 24 minutes or more. Malachi Flynn, Robert Williams, Chris Boucher, so a lot of centers. Zubac, a lot of centers. Markieff Morris, Draymond, Drummond, who's questionable, Giannis, and Vooch. So a shit ton of centers, which makes it a little bit difficult when you're trying to find guards, just in general. That is the Dollaruski doesn't. What is your projection on Embiid? I like Embiid's over right now on Prize Picks. I have him at 44 points and change, and it's only better on Prize Picks because of the blocks upside. I have him at 48.5 points. I believe on Prize Picks, again, if you want to sign up, use that code SAL. Be sure to go ahead and get Steph before he changes. Steph is not, he's going to be the next one to change. Steph is not going to stay at 45. I don't know how he dropped to 45. I bet him at 46, and I like that a lot. But right now, I think Embiid is, let's find Mr. Joel. So Embiid is right now 45. So you can see Embiid's right down here. He's already at 45. I take the over on that. It went up from 44. I got him at 44. But I still like Embiid there. But Steph is probably going to be your best option. Likely to be the best option there. Do you like the under on Ja Morant and Simmons? This morning was 39. I like the under on Simmons this morning. It's a no bet now for me. He's at 37, I think now. This morning, if he got at 39, yeah, he was in the. If you watch the video this morning, I liked his under, and I like the over on Vooch. I still lean the over on Vooch, although the price point has gone up by 1 point. So that's the benefit of getting in a little bit earlier. Middleton, Ball, or Brown? The answer for me is Brown right now, but obviously if those guys from New Orleans are out, then we go right to Ball. The answer for me is Brown right now. Let's look at some other lineup potential combinations. This is with all the randomness. I'm curious to see what like cash builds it. So let's take off randomness today, or right now at least. So we'll take off randomness just to see what like the highest projected lineups are because I'm curious. We'll just put one unique and we'll put 4 from a team just to kind of build cash lineups, right? Just to get the idea. I'm not playing these lineups in GPPs. They'll be massively owned more than likely, but maybe not because I'm a little bit different on some stuff. Because like I like Cantor and I like Zubac today, and they're going to be naturally low owned because of so many center options. So let's let those lineups build out right now. I'm thinking Grayson Allen tonight. Decent pivot, playing bigger minutes. I have Grayson Allen for Memphis, as you can see right now on the screen. I have him actually projecting out for some nice minutes. He's in a player pool at 28. We have now seen enough out of Grayson Allen. Although he's shooting well, that's his thing. He should be doing that. We've now seen enough consistency out of Grayson Allen's minutes to think that he will be the guy who is actually securing these minutes over your Desmond Baines, over your Xavier Tillmans, right? He's actually getting those 26+ minutes. I'm giving him 28 tonight. Would you pivot to Embiid off of Jokic and GPPs because of ownership reasons? Asks what's I don't even know what your name is. Intarnation. One Intarnation. I'm trying to like read it all as one word, and I was like, that doesn't make much sense. I don't think you're pivoting there. Like I don't know what you're trying to do. Like Jokic is not going to be highly owned. Neither of them will be. So I mean, Jokic I would expect to be 12% owned today. Embiid I would expect to be 5-6% owned. So yeah, I mean Embiid will be less owned, maybe half as owned probably than Jokic today. But Jokic is like, you pivoting off of Jokic, you're definitely getting your lineup to be lower owned, but Jokic is not going to be chalk today. He's just not. He's not performing well lately. There is something to that now that they have a whole team producing and Aaron Gordon now there playing minutes, and now Will Barton coming off the bench and playing with Jokic more, so production gets taken away. So there is something to that. But when you have center options like we've already been going through, Nikola Vucevic today, Robert Williams is going to be popular today. You have a bunch of guys who fill center spots like Thad Young and Giannis and Pascal Siakam who will be popular today, and you can keep going on and down. Giannis is already expensive, so when you're just talking about price point, how do you fit these guys together? Giannis will be more popular, and he's expensive, so now how do you start to fit guys together? Pascal Siakam will arguably be one of the most popular players in the state. Steph Curry is picking up ownership because he's too cheap, right? So Jokic and Embiid will be low owned. Embiid will be dirt low owned, right? Because people are still worried about his minutes upside. Can he come right back and play 34, play 29 in his game back? I like both. I like Embiid more than Jokic, and that's not even counting the ownership right now difference. That obviously makes it a lot better. I can pull up Denver's minutes, and you can see basically these starters. I'm just giving massive minutes right now. Like the starters are getting all the minutes. Like Monty Morris is the only non-Denver starter that I have cracking 20 minutes today. Smart and Jokic or Vooch and Levine? Smart and Jokic. Bembry, Smart, Flynn, Draymond, Siakam, Ball. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like Bembry and Flynn today. I know they're cheap. I know they're your only cheap options. My guess is in the next hour and 40 minutes, we get more news to get you off of those two guys from the same team. Because here's the deal. Yes, they're both cheap, but they're going to be probably the two highest owned guys today, and neither of them are locks to really produce in a crazy way for you, right? Now, I get it. You don't need crazy production when they're both in the 3K range, but that would be your concern, right? They're both massively highly owned, so if they both put up 20 points for you today, and that's good at their price points, how good really is it, right? It's not helping you, and if anything, it helps the other people who went with balanced builds who can now pass you. So I'm fine with one of them, but getting them both in the same lineup because of their crazy ownership is a little bit concerning. I know Bembry started and went off yesterday. He's still 3K flat. I prefer Bembry right now. He's my number one play. I know Flynn came in yesterday, plays 34 minutes, scores 43 fantasy points, right? I get that these guys are both going off, but that's my one concern. If you're playing in a large field, if you're playing in a single entry, and like, yeah, fine, you can get different elsewhere. Like literally playing those two guys and then Joel Embiid today, you're different, right? But if you're playing in a large field GPP, there's a decent chance that if any other value opens up, and maybe the guys from New Orleans play today and the value doesn't open up anywhere else, and like it's those two guys or Alex Caruso, then sure, play those guys. But if any other value opens up today, I think you have to go to that value, at least in one of your spots. In a small field GPP, single entry with like 500 people or less, you can play both those guys because when I play Joel Embiid and I'm in a 500-person contest, literally if you play Joel Embiid in a 500-person single entry contest tonight, there might be in that contest 10 to 20 people out of Joel Embiid. So you're going to be different automatically. So yeah. Jason said Bembry, Smart, Flynn, Draymond, Siakam, Ball. Yeah, Draymond will get you a little bit different. So will Ball as of right now. How do you adjust the randomness on each player? Click on the box, nothing happens. You have to double click on the box. So you go to players, you go right here, you double click on the box. So you can see randomness is right here. If you just click once, nothing will happen, right? But if you double click. So maybe I should make that. I'll put that into like the posts on Patreon. If you want to sign up for Patreon, you can. What a natural plug right there. A lot of people have been signing up. About 4 more people signed up today. Join the community. So yeah, if you want to get up in there, you get the optimizer access. If you want to join to Patreon, depending on the tier you sign up for, you can check all that out. Laverta must play now because now we end up having Brogdon and Sabonis are out. Giannis 54.5. Do you like the Giannis 54.5? So Brogdon and Sabonis are out. Is Laverta must play right now? Let's update these projections. So do I like Giannis over 54.5 from a fantasy point projection today? I currently have Giannis, and we could pull up right to now in these minutes because these are obviously going to change. I currently have Giannis, I believe, right around that number. So it's going to probably be a no bet for me. I have Giannis projected right now for 56.4. Yeah, it's less. It's like 2-point difference. So, no, I like other options. I usually start pulling the triggers when I'm like a 3-point difference away or so. LeVert and Turner now. Yeah, Turner's going to look really good. Like, you can probably just go right over here. Hopefully, you can get it in time. So, if you're watching this right now in the live stream and you have access, and if not, go get access. I assume they already changed it because we're like a minute or two behind on the broadcast. But Turner at 36, yeah, that's too high. I assume they already changed it. LeVert at 34, that's too high. So I'm guessing that they've already been, the problem is they've already been projected. Like you can take the over on LeVert now. He'll probably project out for me for like 36 or 37. So there's some value there. But they've already been projecting out today based on this Turner prop. They've already been projecting out Sabonis, which is at least smart on their part. They kind of hedge themselves, if you will. Give themselves a little bit of safety there. But yeah, we're going to be updating for that momentarily. Not immediately, but momentarily. Why no Cantor? Seems good with no Nurkic. I mean, Cantor is not a no to me. So Cantor is a yes for me. So I don't know why you're saying no Cantor. Cantor's a yes right here. He's a lower owned center. He's a yes. So nobody said no Cantor. How do you feel about Trae Young tonight? Not really there. Not really there. Looney, a must play in cash or GVP? Neither. How different between Fan Team and DraftKings? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what Fan Team is. I'm not sure what that is, my man. Freak, Embiid, or Jokic? Going Freak. Yeah, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic in that order is my interest tonight. Cantor thoughts? I like Cantor. Low owned, cheap play. No Nurkic, has real upside. But keep in mind, McCollum's now there, so it's not the same Cantor that we were getting for most of the year, right? He's not going to average 1.2 fantasy points per minute when McCollum is balling out. So Cantor playing 28 minutes and averaging 1.1 fantasy points per minute gets you 32 points at 6,000. It's just a fine play. Does he have a ceiling? Yes. Is he a slam dunk play like he was earlier this year? No, because CJ McCollum is now back in the saddle. He's now back in the saddle. You guys playing the Masters? Also, like if you want to just get into I have a free roll right now with SuperDraft. Even if you're in a state where SuperDraft is not legal, it's free to enter with $500 in prizes. So if you want to get into that free roll, I'll throw the link into. There's no catch. Like there's going to be some merch giveaways as well, but 500 actual dollar bills, dollar whiskeys, and prizes. If you want to check it out, I'll throw the link to the free roll in the chat. Check out that free roll link. So let's talk Indy now that we have no Sabonis and Brogdon. So this is now going to open up 62 minutes in my minutes projections, and I'm going to go from having zero interest in these guys to actually having interest in these guys. So obviously minutes are going to start to come up, and they're going to start to come up in a pretty big way. We can pull up actually add more funds to look at this a little bit closer as I update the projections on the opposite screen. Embiid and Jokic. Sal, how do you feel about Turner now 36 on PrizePicks? No, PrizePicks has been projecting Sabonis out all day. You're not getting any value on that. So with Sabonis out now, we can pull up Indy. With Sabonis out doesn't change anything on PrizePicks. They've been projecting 36 all day for Turner. So Turner's already been projected as if Sabonis was going to miss today. So there's really no value there in my opinion. So we can take off Sabonis. We can take off Brogdon. And we'll take off Oladipo as well. So we're going to have like a no-minute sample here if we take off Oladipo as well. But on the other screen, I will start to update the projections. Rank your top 15 plays on SuperDraft for us, says bro, man. No, I'm good, boy. I'm not going to rank 15 plays, boy. I ain't going to be reading a book to you today, boy. I'm Gucci. I'm good. If you want to see them, you can see them on Patreon, but I'm good to not do that, bro. I had Turner at 31 this morning on PrizePicks. There you go, Andrew, playing the hot hand. So we actually get decent minute samples. You can see that Mr. TJ McConnell averages a whopping 1.24. Obviously, he had two massive games, which are going to be skewing that in a pretty big way. But there is still something to it, like TJ McConnell is going to project that as a strong play. So I'm going to project out now Miles Turner. So Miles Turner, the blocks upside does come into play on a site like PrizePicks, and also for people who play FanDuel. I don't know if there's really anybody out there who still does that. But let's get into this now. So Brogdon is now at 0. Sabonis is now at 0. I have Turner projecting out for 35.6. Turner is now a yes at 6,200. I have Dougie Buckets projecting out now for me for 25.7. He is a strong yes. He says, come on, bro. Want us to sign up for your Patreon, bro, man. Bro, man wants me to read off 15 names here. Like, I got the time for that. 37.2. So 37.2 fantasy points is for LeVert today. So LeVert doesn't look that great. Obviously, he has a ceiling on him, but doesn't really look that great. Minor changes for the holiday guys, but McCollum is going to be looking very, very nice. 28.9 points for CJ McCollum. He's a yes now. He is priced up, though. Aaron Holiday. So I want to get this done so we can rerun the projections and the optimizer mainly. Alrighty. Jeremy Lamb, we didn't get any news on him, right? So I'm going to still project in Jeremy Lamb, and let's go with that. Alrighty. Let's do this. All right, so we're updating the projections there. Let's now rerun the optimizer. So we'll recrunch this. Alrighty, projections are coming in for all the Patreon crowd. Let's rerun this optimizer. We just won't put randomness on again, just to let it go. Projections are coming into the Patreon crowd in momentarily. How do you like that? In momentarily. I don't think there was any other news. So Jeremy Lamb likely to play. Perfect. We just projected him in. Alrighty. Brogdon plus Sabonis out. Updates are in. Now we'll go for our new top 12 plays in the day. So Turner and McDermott and McConnell will be my favorite options. LeVert looks fine. LeVert's ceiling is obviously going to be good, but he's kind of already priced for what his role will be today. Yes, it's obviously a bump up for LeVert, but he's already kind of priced for parts of that. So now with these new projections in, now I'm building more lineups. So new projections in now, you start to get lineups that look like this. So you start to get some Doug McDermott in there as a value there. Some Miles Turner as a value there. That makes a lot of sense to me. The new top 10 plays with that recent Indy news, which is clear. Now we actually have some more value, which is good to see. So 1, 2. So Miles Turner is now my number 4 overall play. TJ McConnell is now my number 9 overall play. And Doug McDermott's now my number 2. So McDermott becomes one of the top value options on the slate now. What does Oladipo look like? Low ownership, most likely. Yeah, he doesn't look that great for me. I'm still concerned about the minutes. He's the third option on his team. He looks for 30.4 points. Not great. Do you still do work with Osimo? No, I don't. We ended the contract, I think, I was just doing it on like a per show basis. Like we had any set schedule, and they thought that it would be a good idea to end the contract. Competitive reasons. They saw me, which is a compliment, as a competitor now, which, cool. I like all the guys over there though. Trying to do some shows. Ideally, I'm trying to do some shows, not even in the fantasy space, just like with Spags. But seems like, I don't know if it's exactly true, but through the tea leaves, it seems like they do not want that. But on those shows, I'm not going to be like, yo, sign up for my DFS Patreon and this. Like, they're going to be shows that are in a little bit of a different vein for the industry. But I get it. It makes a lot of sense. I get like the whole, not necessarily a non-compete, but that type of stuff. But no, I do not do shows with them. But all those people over there were awesome. And I love doing the shows when I did them with them. But to be honest with you, at this point right now, it was probably a perfect time. Because at this point right now, like if they wanted me to do 3 NBA shows a week, I'd probably do them just for like the collaboration more so than the money. Like they're paying me like $100 a show, which like was fine like a year or two ago, but now I don't really care. But it was probably going to be too much. Like 3 shows a week. Like during the NFL season, I only did 1 with them, and that was on purpose to try and limit like my burnout. And I like doing these live streams every day in my show in the morning, so it would have been a little bit too much probably. Is Edmund Summer in play now? Yeah, you talk fast, bro. We'll take 1 minute. Bro man says, why can't he say his top 15 SuperDraft plays? I just don't want to like read off a whole list, my man. And they're going to be changing. So if I tell you them right now, it won't matter. I also can't read, so that'll hurt. But Steph, Embiid, Siakam, OG, Drummond, Giannis, Kawhi, Jokic, Bogdanovich, Young, George, Gordon, Kuzma, Capella, Brandon Ingram, Jimmy Butler. I think that was 15. There you go. There's those guys. There's those guys. There you go, my man. Hopefully he's still in here. Otherwise, wasting my time. Alrighty. So now we can go to Indy. I'm not going to change the minutes on the back end, but this is how it's going to basically be looking right now for me. It's going to basically be looking like this. This is now how this team, let me just make sure this is how this looks. This is basically now how this team looks for me. Oh, should probably put it on the other screen so you can actually see it a little bit better. So this is now how Indy is going to be looking for me. We can take out Sabonis. Hopefully they don't go from being out to ruled in. Shout out Paul George. So you can now see most of Indy. Thanks for the content, Sal. Dollarski Tuesday. Yeah, we like it. We like it. A big slate on a Tuesday, which usually isn't the case. Lamb is him, Sal. Thanks. Appreciate that. Somebody says, just sign up for Patreon. You can see it real fast, too. There you go. Yeah, you want to sign up for Patreon? You can. There's your top 15, though. We just read them off. So if you want them again, you could. They're probably going to change, though. Do you like LeVert or Lonzo? As it stands right now, the answer is LeVert. It'll be an interesting conversation if all those guys are ruled out for Lonzo's case today, if Ingram and Zion are out, because Lonzo contributes in a little bit more of the areas. LeVert's going to be has to be efficient today. Lonzo is a little bit more. So it'll be an interesting conversation to see what those projections look like. But LeVert is obviously a guy who he needs like 20-plus shot attempts to get you there. He's not the most efficient shooter, although last year in the bubble he actually became that. And he's going to get a good assist percentage. But let's actually look at this. So we can see LeVert, who probably hasn't played any minutes. So LeVert has literally played 64 minutes with these guys off the court. So it's 2 games. So it's not much of a sample. 1.12 fantasy points per minute. We can't really take much from that. That's LeVert with obviously no Oladipo because, hasn't played with him yet or on the year for obvious reasons, trades, things like that. Yeah. But the big beneficiaries are McConnell. But that's going to change now with LeVert, obviously, in this rotation. 0.9 fantasy points per minute out of Doug McDermott is very good to see. These are DraftKings points per minute. And then you get Miles Turner averaging a very nice 1.16 fantasy points per minute, and even more stability to that because his minutes should be stabilized and higher. Somebody says, Sal, over Osmo. I mean, I know all love for those people over there. How long would it take to update the Patreon projections? Sorry, I'm new to Patreon member, so I'm still trying to figure this out, man. Yeah, no problem. The Patreon projections, I'm assuming, I think you asked that like 3 minutes ago. I'm like behind in the comments just trying to get to every single person. But they're already updated. Normally, though, the projections, if I'm on stream, it could take a little bit longer because I'm trying to like keep a show afloat, if you will, right, while we update. And we can actually run some new projections now. We can start to look at some of these. But they're already updated right now. Normally, though, it depends. Like, if there's only a half hour to lock, they'll usually start to come pretty instantly. Like, instantly meaning not immediately. Like, I have to actually go in there and manually change minutes and stuff. But, like, within 5 minutes normally. But sometimes, like, if news breaks at, like, noon and we have 7 hours to lock and I'm, like, out and about, like, the update might not come for an hour or two, right? Because it's not needed that exact second. But closer to lock, they come in a lot quicker. Kelly and Hayes is out. That's fine. Kobe White is playing today. All right, nothing to change right now. So you can see where lineups are starting to go right now, right? You're starting to get a lot of exposure to McConnell and Turner. This is with no randomness, by the way. So you're going to say, oh, these are chalky lineups, right? Look at this. So in 150 lineups, if we don't put randomness on, this is what you get. That's why you need randomness. That's why you need to put in uniques and rules. Because if you're just building chalk lineups and cash lineups without any rules and setting up for GPPs, uniques, randomness, things like that, leveraging ownership, these are the obviously great cash plays. So if you're somebody who only plays cash or actually likes playing cash, this is a good way to kind of gauge what cash plays are going to be looking like, right? Because these are basically your cash plays today, right? Like these are all your cash plays right here. As it stands right now at 5:33. Like somebody commented on the YouTube video this morning, was like, your plays from yesterday morning weren't that great. And I was like, boy, you did not check back in. Those plays obviously aren't going to be great when their teammates that I thought were going to be out are playing, things like along those lines, right? It's the NBA. But these are like your cash plays right now, and kind of in priority interest. But now we can actually start to project in some randomness and some uniques, limiting players from teams. So we'll put 3 uniques to just try and get a little bit more random. We'll put 33% randomness. Hopefully some Embiid lineups start to pop up, because now we have all the value that we need. We have mid-range value. We have pay-up value. Hey, just got here. Top 11 for SuperDraft. Also, should we stack Indy? It depends. I think you can get 3 from Indy, but I'll probably have a lot closer to 2 in most of my lineups on an 8-game slate with value in other spots today. Top 11 SuperDraft plays. Yeah, we talked about the top 15 earlier. So you can, that was about 5-10 minutes ago. My top 3 are Curry, Embiid, and Siakam. But OG Anunoby and Drummond, if he plays, look fantastic with their high multipliers. Bogdanovich looks really good with a high multiplier. So those are some maybe potential ways to get a little bit different. Is your top plays the same? No, not at all. There's been news, so they're not the same. You want me a lot of money? Been following you for a while, says Michael Dixon. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. You like Indy? Am I stacking them? I don't really stack NBA teams. I like a lot of Indy. You can see them on the screen right now. I like a lot of Indy today. I don't really stack NBA teams. So, like, are you trying to play Turner, McConnell, and McDermott? That's fine. Probably be chalky, but that's fine. You can get different somewhere else. They probably won't. I won't have 3 in my main lineup as of right now. I would expect to have probably 2, and it will be a combination of Turner, McConnell, and McDermott. Maybe I'll get to 3, but I doubt it. My main lineup right now is looking at probably getting to 2 of these guys. McDermott looks like a top value, and then it's deciding between McConnell and Turner. With a lot of centers on the slate, I could probably get away from Turner, albeit looking like a very good play. Nothing against Turner. Just a matter of opportunity cost. So now that we actually have some randomness plugged into here, let's see what the new lineups are starting to look like. I think we might have put too much randomness on, but let's see. So this one's going to get Marcus Smart, Trae Young. So this is your difference maker right here in terms of ownership. Draymond can be a little bit of that difference maker in terms of ownership, right? So that's one way to go about it. I want to see if we get one with a stud. So this one's got Trae Young still. So it's building a lot of balanced lineups. Like this one has Giannis. So Giannis and Lillard. So this is a double stud lineup. It's giving you Bembry. It's giving you Lou Williams. I don't know how much I like that, Lou Williams plus Bogdanovich. But that's a rule that we can set in the back end of the optimizer. You still like Oubre as a pivot? Yeah. LeVert dropping a 50 burger? Not projected for me. Hey, Sal, can I have the top 100 SuperDraft plays? Somebody says. I think my man Broman or whatever left. I read him in the top 15. He left. I dislike Miles Turner. I will not play him. Sounds good. Oubre or Aaron Gordon? Oubre. Wouldn't Miami-Memphis be a defensive struggle? I don't see anybody really appealing. Yeah, I don't see much appealing from that game. Like Miami and Memphis for me today. And if you want to use this, like the tool that we're using for anybody that's new or just not as familiar, this is the Big Energy Optimizer. It's part of the Patreon package, the soon-to-be Big Energy website that we're building in the background right now. We're getting very close to being able to launch that, hopefully by May. But this is the tool. There's a lot of power to it, the groups, right? A lot of basic settings that you can set from, basic, quote-unquote, but randomness, ownership, projections, exposures, things, whatever you want to do and play around with it. But, yeah, Memphis and Miami is not going to look that great today. Memphis and Miami should be pretty slower paced. Like, I have a lot of guys who make player pools for me, but none of them are priorities. Like, I don't have a single yes for Memphis or Miami today. Guys in player pools, yes. Lower pivot options like a Jonas Valanciunas and guys like that, but that's more so for 150 maxing. Rodney Magruder out. Yep, projected him out. Hey, Sal, when you make live updates, do you need to close the optimizer and reopen it to have your new projections? Yeah, Kyle, that's a good question. Yeah, so you just refresh it. So I don't know what type of internet you're using, but just a refresh button on the browser on Google is right next to your web address. So, yeah, that's what I would recommend, is just going in there and refreshing it. If you have any problems with that, let me know. We could always get in touch with the developer to add anything that you think will make it a little bit more convenient on your end. But that will be it, because they don't auto update, which would be nice for them too. But there's no way to auto update it because it's pulling in whatever's in the current sheet, and the only way that works is if you auto update it on your end, or if you manually update it. I guess it's a better way to say that. So this is what some randomness, some lineups you start to get. A Paul George plus Giannis combo looks pretty appealing. This is a nice lineup. Like, there's a lot of value now out there. Do you have to punt with some of it? Yeah, like Emden Summer, probably still be lower owned than some of these other Toronto guys. Kanter or Zubac? If I had to pick one, I think I would go right now with Cantor. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate that. Everybody hit the like real quick. It'll help Sal out. Yeah, thank you, OG Steve Daniels. Yeah, hit the like. If you're still watching, hit the subscribe button. All this stuff helps out a good amount. I really appreciate it. Oubre or Aaron Gordon? I'll go Oubre right now. Turner or Thad Young? Thanks. Give me Turner. Aaron Holiday look good now? Not so much for me. Off topic, Sal, but do you make a fantasy football guide for your Patreon users? What's going on right now? I make a fantasy football guide, but it's separate. Like it's a totally separate product. It's a one-off purchase, which last year I think was $30. But last year we partnered it with a sponsor and it made the price $10. I'm trying to get it to be $10 this year, but I think their minimum that they do for deposits is $20. So I'm trying to make it so that PrizePicks is the sponsor of it. So anytime somebody signs up, they just make a deposit on PrizePicks, a first time deposit, and we just kick them over to the draft guide. But that is the plan still this year. I'm just starting up the season-long draft. I don't do dynasty draft guides, maybe in the future if I expand, but I just don't have the bandwidth with covering PGA and NBA right now and a little bit of MMA on my end from a tools standpoint. But yeah, I'll have a draft guide. We're actually going to start covering fantasy football. The NFL draft is at the end of the year or end of the month. The NFL draft is at the end of the month. I'll be in Florida for the final days of that and the draft. And then coming back beginning of May, I'll start to cover some fantasy football content. Maybe I'll do some towards the middle of April, but I doubt it. But maybe if I'm feeling it, I'll do some rookie stuff. But I'm all caught up on the rookie stuff. I know all these rookies that are coming out. I'm researching stuff in the back end on my end. Just not yet putting content out for it. But yeah, we'll have a draft guide. The exact launch date of the draft guide is not yet known, but I assume it'll be around June. June or July will be the exact launch date of the draft guide. You know, your rankings, your player projections, your player profiles, your tiers, all that stuff, top 150s. Indy, good pivot off the Toronto chalk. Indy will now become the chalk as well. Sam, my guy, a little late today. Can I see the top 10, or top 3 must values? Top 3 value plays for me right now are DeAndre Bembry, Doug McDermott, and a toss-up between Malachi Flynn and Jackson Hayes. Probably Flynn, depending on what happens with Indy or New Orleans today. OG or Thad Young today? Give me OG. Gallinari or Powell? Give me Gallinari. No players with 3 vowels in their name. Hey, we hit 60 likes, 40 more. Yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're not already. Sal, why is Oubre the thumbnail, and who's your favorite pivot off of Turner? Thanks. Yeah, Oubre is just a nice pivot option. Now, obviously, with all this news coming out, it doesn't look as good. But, yeah, I still think Oubre is a decent play. And also, Oubre is a very Oubre right now is my 22nd overall play. Before all this news came out, he was borderline a top 15 play for me. So, a quality play. Still is decent at low ownership. And also, do you see that thumbnail's eyes? Oubre's got some damn good-looking eyes on him. Handsome fella. Looking pretty good. Levert or Levine? Levert. What do you have Cantor projected for today? Right around 30 points, I believe. So I only have Cantor at 28 minutes. If he plays 30, it's obviously better. I have Cantor for 30.9 points. He's a yes for me. I'll pull up Portland's minutes now with no Nurkic. So Cantor I have at 28 minutes. If I give him 30 minutes, obviously it looks a lot better. But keep in mind that McCollum is now on this team. Balanced lineup today, 1 stud. I think you can go to 1 to 2 studs now at the value. And we're only going to get more is my guess. Passed out after work and just woke up. Any chance you can run through some of your favorite play/values, Sal? Yeah, we've been doing so. Top values are Bembry, Malachi Flynn, and Doug McDermott. Top plays are probably still Siakam. Siakam, Turner's like a top 5 play for me now. I still like Robert Williams a whole lot. I still like Chris Boucher as a pivot option who will not be as noticed. I think Joel Embiid at his current ownership. Like Embiid's going to come in at 5% or lower owned today. And he came back and played 29 minutes and looked fine. If Embiid plays 32-plus minutes today, which everybody's just thinking he's not, and if that's the case, there's really nice low ownership upside on Joel Embiid. If you're playing in that terrible contest that has $100,000 to first tonight, terrible contest, right, on DraftKings, the 100K to first one where you're never going to win it, but you're chasing it, you have to play guys like Joel Embiid. You have to have the stones to be able to do that sometimes. Can he go out there and be limited again and play 28 minutes and only get you 45 fantasy points? Sure. But can he play 32 and easily score 60-plus like he's been doing most of the games this season when he's healthy? Yes. And he didn't look that unhealthy is what I would say. So, I really like what I'm seeing out of Mr. Joel Embiid at this low ownership number. What is the current top 10? Yeah, I'll exclude any maybes. So, Bembry, McDermott, Miles Turner, Siakam, Hayes, Flynn, Robert Williams, McConnell, Chris Boucher, and Zubac. It's current top 10. Are you mad about the Zags losing? Not at all. I watched about one half of Syracuse basketball. I probably watched 2 halves of Syracuse basketball, and that's it. That's the only college basketball I've watched in like the last 3 years. I didn't watch any of the championship game. I didn't watch any of the UCLA game that everybody loved and saw the buzzer beater. I saw the highlight. I'm just not interested in college basketball. I know that might be a hot take or whatever, but I'm not trying to make it a hot take. I just not where my interests lie personally. I guess if I went to a school that was like more up and coming, like Penn State is up and coming now, but if I went to a school that was more of a basketball school and not a football school, I'm sure I'd be more appealed to it. I don't know. I'm not even the biggest college football fan. Like, I just don't support the NCAA all that much. I don't know another job where you make all the money and share in 0% of the profits, but now they're being paid. Yeah, nowhere near what they should be. I mean, the UFC fighters only get paid 18%. The report came out this year of the overall revenue. In most sports, it's 50%. College athletes make, up until a couple months ago, and I don't even know if it's actually rolled out yet and what the percentages are, making 0%. But they get a $40,000 scholarship, Sal. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence really paid for what he brought to Clemson, right? There's a reason why he's going to immediately become a multi-millionaire overnight, and a whole lot of it. Sal can beat anyone on any given day. The man made $275,000 last year. People, hoorah. Yeah, looks like hopefully we can double that this year. It's looking good. How you liking Gary Trent for a bounce back today versus Lakers? Yeah, he's in a player pool just fine. How much fantasy points do you think Embiid can get to in the first half? Yeah, I don't like the first half props. I'm going to be honest with you, 2K. It's just, I mean, that's just guessing, right? That's just guessing at what it'll be. I don't like the first half props, to be honest. Simon, man, good to see you. Good to see you as well. You're in the right place, boys. You definitely are. I appreciate OG Steve Daniels scraping for them likes right now. Appreciate all you over 300 people in here. Kelly and Hayes is now out, correct? Also, great golf content, Sal, this week. Loving it. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys are not familiar, maybe you don't even like golf or you don't know you like golf, look, it's Masters Week. It's a Super Bowl for golf. Check it out. I have a betting video up right now. They're short. It's a 13-minute betting video. I have a DFS breakdown video. I'll be going live tomorrow. Check it out. Give it a shot. I really never played DFS golf until 3 years ago at the Masters. Was fortunate enough to hit $10,000 in that in a small field, a 300-person contest, the 333, and then I was hooked, and I still am hooked. And I think DFS golf is the most fun DFS sport. They all have their different sweats to them. Baseball, they all have their different sweats, right? NFL, of course. But if you're talking about the most fun, you get a sweat with the cut on Friday. You have a sweat each and every single day. I think it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. 4 center lineup makes sense. I see that rule on the optimizer. I like what I'm seeing. A 4 center lineup. So I assume you're either joking there because I would love that, or you're just saying that you can get some power forwards into your center or some centers into your power forward spots. There's not a lot of. I think you might be joking though, because there's not a lot of centers that are power forward eligible on this slate that actually have a shit ton of upside, is what I would say, right? Like Miles Turner, center only, right? Embiid, center only tonight. Most of the good centers, Vooch, Capella, all these guys are only center only. Like Siakam's a power forward, but center eligible, right? Robert Williams, only center only. Drummond, only center only. So I think you're joking. But I wish we can have that rule, right? I wish we can have that rule. Sal, Young or Marketing seem tempting with no Sabonis on the other side. Yeah, I like Young more there. Not so much on Marketing. No other news has come out right now for today. Some news is popping off for Bogdanovich or Trent? Bogdanovich. I agree 100%. I thought I was the only one that didn't care for college sports. Yeah, I don't really like it at all. Fellas, schmack, says William. Do what you love and love what you do, and life is good. Yeah, man, I've got, I don't know if you're saying that because you know I have, from some vlogs and stuff, I got 2 signs on the wall that say do what you love, and another one says love what you do. The 2 signs right next to each other on the wall. It's very true. You still like Hayes? Who's Hayes? Says Alan. Jackson Hayes? I thought you meant Kelly, and that's who was recently on my mind. I like Jackson Hayes if Zion and Ingram are out. I still like him even if those guys are still in, but it's not going to be as much now that Doug McDermott opened up with no Sabonis down low. Embiid or Jokic? Give me Embiid. Can Embiid put up 60 plus? Of course, he could any single night. Yep. If Jamal Murray were to sit, how much would that boost Jokic? Should we leave players to pivot as leverage? It'll boost his assist percentage a ton. Yeah, you could. If you want to set your lineup up that way, it makes sense. It will boost Jokic a good amount. Yeah, it will boost. I mean, that might be the best boost to Jokic. We can look at it right now, actually. Let's look at it right now. So let's go over to Denver, and let's just basically take off Murray. Like, I know they don't have some other guys on their team, like Gary Harris and some of these guys, but we'll just take off, like, actual producers. So Jokic goes to... He averages 1.65, so this is Jokic, 1.65 DraftKings points per minute with Jamal Murray off the court this year, and he averages a pretty whopping 49.7% assist percentage. So 1.65, yes, it's definitely going to be helping Jokic. He then starts to probably become more of a priority than Embiid if Murray were to miss. Jokic with Murray on the court averages 1.58. So, I mean, you're looking at like a 3 to 4 point difference in a fantasy projection, which is, I mean, it's pretty noteworthy, right? Going back over to Prize Picks just to kind of cover these, if you want to check it out, if you just got into the chat later on, they're sponsoring the program. Use the code SAL. It's linked right down below right now. With all this news coming out, there's lots of opportunities. I have the over right now on Lou Williams. 20, I have him at around 25. I like the over on Embiid. I got him at 44. He's at 45, though. I like that. And then the one that we liked the most earlier was actually Zach LaVine, but it already went up. So Markieff Morris, he was at 22. Now he's at 23. I still like the over. But let's see if Steph Curry is still at Steph Curry is still at a favorable price point. Yeah, so Steph Curry is still at 45. I got him at 46 and I liked it. So I currently think Curry is your best option as it stands right now on Prize Picks on the over. Levine was the best, but now they put his prop up. So it's a player props over under his Prize Picks. You can check it out. They sponsored this morning's video. You can just click the link down below in the description. Use the code SAL, and whatever you put in up to your first deposit up to $100, they'll match it. You come in here if you want to just build this one and follow this one with me. You basically just take Steph Curry right there. My madre is calling me right now because I got a new car today. I'm sure she wants to check it out. My great mother. I will call her back soon. So I would take Steph Curry and then the over on Marcus Morris. Those are my two biggest spreads right now. But obviously, anytime that news is breaking throughout this stream, you usually have it used to be like you have 3 or 4 minutes. But I think since I started doing content with live streams, they're like, oh, we're getting hammered. So they hammered while they're sober. So yeah, they ended up changing them now within like a minute. And sometimes they even project guys out like Sabonis. Priceless wisdom. I appreciate that. So I know this is probably more personal, but I think it would be cool if you added how much money you made on DFS on your 2020 video for 2021. Yeah, I mean, it's not that personal. Like last year, I think I made $23,000 in DFS. Profiting wise, we had the big NFL week that propelled that upwards. Yeah, I mean, I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's very few people who are actually doing that. I also don't want to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars in DFS. Why? It's a mental strain, right? I take days off of NBA DFS. Like I haven't played the last 2 weekends outside of Prize Picks because it's easier, or like SuperDraft because the contests don't fill. But like DraftKings, I didn't play on Saturday or Sunday. And if I do sometimes on the weekends lately, it's just it's mentally straining. Like if you lose a lot of money, if you go on a cold streak and you lose, I don't know, $5,000-$10,000 like in 2 or 3 months because you're on a cold streak, and this has happened to me, it's mentally straining. It's not worth your energy. So yeah, the reason that I didn't add it in there was because I was just trying to talk about the business. I don't report any DFS profit or loss as business revenue or loss for the year. So it just all goes through my personal income. I don't know. I guess I could technically put it into that area, but I just don't like. I would save on taxes for sure. I wouldn't be taxed 40% on my gambling winnings. I would be taxed my corporate rate of like 20%, but it just doesn't feel responsible to be putting that as a revenue stream. I clearly don't rely on that, but yeah, I guess I could talk to my accountant about that. Yeah, not joking. 2 power forward centers and 2 centers. Yeah, I mean, like Siakam fits into that mold, right? That was confusing, I think. I'm sorry. No problem. Hey, Sal, can we see the minutes on the screen? Yeah, in these minutes I'll put on the screen right now. This is not the finalized indie minutes. I'll have to pull them back over from the database after the stream, which actually, this was a pretty quick stream. I'm gonna eat some sweet potatoes, some grilled chicken, and some broccoli after this. Kemba will play today. He's going to rest tomorrow. And that is all the news that we have. No other news right now. Somebody says, fuck Paul George. I'm getting 100% Paul George. That sound about right? Says Zay. I don't know if you're serious or not, Zay. No, that doesn't sound that right. I don't know if you got a higher projection on him or something. Turner or Cantor today? Give me Turner. Sal, are you full of talent? Yes, sir. Gotcha, thanks, brother. No problem. Thoughts on Diallo right now? He's not looking as good. Just you got to get the secure minutes out of Diallo. Just not looking as good now with all this other value opening up, like a TJ McConnell right in the same price range as him, right? McConnell now for me is a yes for 30 minutes. You should start a $1 Discord contest. It would be fun and also dope to see lineups that you make. Yeah. I think it would be fun. The problem is just managing that stuff. Like, I never want to create a league on DraftKings. I did like 3 years ago, and it's just the worst thing to manage. Like, so many people coming in there, so many notifications. I just don't like doing that. And then the other issue with the $1 leagues, like, I'd be interested in doing this for like season-long NFL because there's a clear stop to season-long NFL leagues. Like, they start the first week of September or August, like when the NFL starts, and then they're done. The problem with that is keeping it up. Like, it seems like a very easy idea to just make the $1 league. But the problem with that is like every single day, then people are going to want the $1 league, and every single day it's going to have to be like another task, albeit it's just 2 minutes. But like these 2-minute tasks add up. Like adding MLB projections to Patreon, it only takes me, instead of like 2 or 3 hours if I started them from scratch with the API, it only takes me maybe 20, 30 minutes, but that's 20, 30 minutes that I added that I wasn't expecting to add per day. So adding 5 minutes of creating a league and sending it into the Discord doesn't sound like a lot of work. But all these small little tasks, they start to add up. And now it's like I'm doing like 4 hours of work that I wasn't planning on doing. And this is how burnout happens, which is what happened 2 years ago for me. Semi Ojeleye is in. Really? Okay. I was projecting him out. So he's now available to play. I'll change that. It's not going to change too much. 7 more likes and I'll shut the fuck up. Sal gonna read his top 100. Somebody says. I appreciate you, OG Steve Daniels. Move to Canada. Gambling winnings are tax-free. Yeah, that's crazy. Is that actually true? So if I was to bink a $100,000 contest on DraftKings, there's 100% no tax on that. That's great. How is Canada? I don't know logistics behind this, but how is Canada not taxing that money? Like, is it just a loophole how the United States used to be? Like, if you won money on it, it was kind of like hush hush. Like, nobody's gonna come after a sports bettor for the money. If anything, they'll come after the company. Like, is that what's happening in Canada? Or are they just like, yeah, you just keep all your gambling money? Because it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of money for them to make on that. How many Patriots is too many for a GBP? I would want to play at most 3. Patriots D is trash. Fire up the Bulls. Hey. Alrighty, gang. We've been live for a little bit over an hour. I'm going to bounce as we are an hour and a half or an hour away from lock. I'll update for Semi Ojeley and some other stuff. But yeah, it was a fun stream. Some news broke, so that was fun. We got some more values. We talked some stuff. Any questions, just let me know. Agree, no taxes. Yeah, that's crazy. McConnell and Hayes or Turner and Lou Williams today? Give me the answer for me will be Turner and Lou Will. I can't say Hayes yet until we see what happens with Brandon Ingram and Zion today, which we got some news from the Pelicans, but just on Josh Hart and Alexander Walker. Just lose in the U.S. and you don't have to pay taxes as well. Just lose in the U.S. There we go. I'm actually not 100% sure it's legit, but it is. Mom and dad won $500,000 on the lotto, and they received $500,000. Jesus, your parents received won $500,000 in the lotto? Jesus. Thoughts on Aaron Rodgers hosting Jeopardy last night? I loved it. Hopefully you got to watch it. I got to see some clips. He was on Pat McAfee today saying that he's trying to have the full-time job for Jeopardy, so that's great. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a very awesome person. Seems very zen. Seems like he has a very calm personality. Whatever the media portrayed before this year on him was obviously garbage. But yeah, if you watch any of the Pat McAfee stuff this year from Aaron Rodgers, it looked great. 4 more likes before he dips. Yeah, I'm about to dip. Thanks, man. Have a good night. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. More content tomorrow. We'll have a live stream around 1 p.m. East Coast time for golf. This live stream yet again around 5 p.m. East Coast time for NBA. Big slate tomorrow. And then NBA video in the morning. You notice that I'm trying to make that video shorter. It was only top 10 plays today. It was 18 minutes. The goal is for those videos to start to hit around 15 to 16 minutes, mainly because it shortens my workload, but not even that. The YouTube algorithm is starting to focus more so on lower or smaller videos because it's like the TikTok thing, smaller, punchier videos, which mine are already punchier because I kind of edit out my gasps already. But expect more videos of mine to be closer to like 15 to 16 minutes moving forward instead of the 20 to 30, which I think I'm still going to start to pack the same amount of information in there, just condense it in an even more efficient way, which will help you listening wise, which then helps it reach more people. So does Semi hurt Williams? No, not really. Not at all. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe before you go, and be sure to support the sponsor of the program. Also, so be sure to support the sponsor of the program. The link to the Patreon. So I saw some people sign up during the stream. Welcome to the community. Reach out in the Discord. We'll help you all out. You can check out that, and then be sure to support the sponsor of the program. Right now, the ones that I like, my favorite option is the over on Marcus Morris 22, and then the over on Steph Curry. Steph Curry currently at 45. I still like the over there. I'm at 49 points and change. All right, everybody. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you again tomorrow. Two live streams tomorrow, so make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when that's coming live. Peace out. I need to eat some food. Peace out. I need to get some nutrition in my body. Peace out. I need to stop airballing when I play pickup basketball for the first time in a year and a half. Peace out. All right, I'm actually out now. See ya.